Hey friends, welcome back to Copy and the Marketing Podcast, where I teach you how to write copy that sounds like you, but converts better. In my last 7 years of writing for over 100 launches, the thing that I keep seeing people come back to is that they don't realize how many emails go into a typical launch. In fact, every week I review between 20 and 30 pieces of copy from my copy on demand clients. And a question I get pretty often is, hey Sam, this is my offer. What emails do you think I need to launch this? And what I typically respond with to my clients is a list of the live launch emails because I know that that's what they're asking. However, there are a whole lot of emails that prime that launch. And I was actually thinking about this last night. If I were to start launching right now, start sending a bunch of sales emails for copy on demand, I would probably make a couple of sales, but it wouldn't be a good launch. And the reason for that is because of all of the other context that goes into a really strong launch. So today, I'm going to go through 7 categories of launch emails that you have probably not even thought about. I'm going to start with the core launch emails and then talk about all of the other emails that go around your launch so that you can go into your next launch feeling super freaking prepared. Lucky for you, if you are a note taker, this is a great one to take a long list of notes on because there are probably 40 or more emails that you need to send around your launch. However, I have also turned it into a checklist. It will be at the link in the show notes and you can grab it for $1 when you use the code podcast. That'll bring the price down to $1 for you. So go to the show notes, grab the checklist for the launch emails that you're probably forgetting to send and use code podcast to get it for $1. Let's jump in with category number 1. What are the core launch emails that you need to send? These are the emails that just about every launch needs. I also am assuming that we're doing a 5-day open cart here. 5-day open cart is going to be typical for a lot of online service providers who are selling to other people who are online a lot. And I use this example pretty often. My brother is a union worker, which means he is never in his inbox. Everything he does is through either apps or by calling his boss is how they communicate. So that man only really checks his email when he forgets his Netflix password. So if you were selling something to a demographic like union workers, you're not going to want to send 3 emails a day the way that I recommend. If you are selling to people who are somewhere in between the online business community, who's in our inboxes like 11 times a day, and my brother, you're probably selling to a group of people who might be parents or people who don't work online. So they're only checking their inbox maybe once or twice a day, maybe even less than that. So keep that in mind when you think about the frequency of these emails. However, because most of my clients are in the online business space selling to other people who are online a lot, that's where this recommendation comes from. The other assumption that I'm making here is that there is a clear open cart and close cart. What is an open cart? That's when you start selling. Close cart is when that cart closes. Sometimes open cart and close cart are always there, but there's a discount for a certain period of time. So just take that into context as you listen to what these suggestions are, but also know that you should always write what your audience needs to hear and send it in a cadence that makes sense for your people. So for a 5-day open cart, what would I do? Day 1, in the morning or right after your launch event, which I will come back to what is a launch event. Day 1, open cart announcement. This is where you're going to want to make note of any fast action bonuses and give them as many of the details as you can about what it is that you are offering. So that's first email on day 1. Second email, we're going to send them out midday. If there are fast action bonuses, this is where you really center your fast action bonus. This is why you should buy today. This gives you urgency and it helps you start your launch on the right foot. Also in this email, you're going to tell them why they should buy the offer. So the first email had more of what the offer is. That is the features that are included in your offer. In email 2, we really want to dig into the benefits. What are the outcomes of purchasing from you? Day 1 in the afternoon, or in the evening. So this will be email number 3, is the urgency to grab a fast action bonus before it expires, and again, remind them why they should join. Now, what is a fast action bonus? A fast action bonus is something that you only make available on day 1 of your launch, or within the first period of your launch, or to the first certain number of people who buy from you during your launch. That is a fast action bonus. Typically, it's something that's incredibly valuable and incredibly scalable. However, I have seen recently, this is a pro tip for you, that your time is a great fast action bonus. to either significantly discount or include some one-on-one time with you and giving them context into their business or into their life is a fast action bonus that sells. Then moving on to day 2, we're assuming here that the fast action bonus has expired, and now we are simply selling the offer. Day 2, first email goes out in the morning. Tell them a story of what happens first when they join. And I don't want you to hear that you are saying, you go in and you download the app, or you join the Facebook group. That is a thing that they do. What happens as a result? Tell me a story about the first win that they get so that they start seeing in their mind's eye what the transformation is of working with you or purchasing from you. In the afternoon, we're going to continue to push education about what it is and how it can impact your people. Again, reminding them of the first win that they get, but also starting to push into what does it look like when you have this on your side long term. Day 3, I encourage you to start getting into some objection handling. If you have FAQs on deck, use those FAQs to bring up questions that people have before buying, especially if you've already sold this offer. Go back to what people have asked and use that for your content so that you have FAQs on deck and can start handling objections, because a lot of times people aren't going to reach out to you and tell you what their objections are. But if you educate them on what their objection is and how you can help them around it, that will be a valuable sales email. This also tends to be what we call the mid-launch slump. For both my launches and my clients' launches, typically right in the middle of the launch is where you've lost the momentum from the fast action bonus. There's no urgency at the end of the launch. This is where the least people are going to buy. That doesn't mean that you don't need to send sales emails or that the emails that you're sending in the middle aren't good. It's just this is you building that case. This is you helping them understand why they should buy. And I encourage you to go back a couple episodes to the EduSelling episode. I want to say it was episode number 29, but it's about 3 episodes ago. And we talk more in that episode about what it looks like to educate towards a sale versus to push towards a sale or to shame towards a sale, which we don't want to do. So day 3 in the morning, start handling objections. Day 3 in the afternoon, start talking about additional value. You've probably at this point in your emails mentioned the other things that are involved in your offer, but this is your opportunity to talk about how the main offer is, of course, worth the investment, but also what are the other things that are included that are super transformational for them. I'll give you an example. My Copy on Demand, the core offer of Copy on Demand, is that every single week you can get my feedback on your copy, and I will tell you what to improve and why, so that you become a better copywriter in your business with that context. It's huge. It's on demand. It's there when you need it, when you're on spring break or not writing a lot of copy. You just skip that week. That's the core offer. In an email like this, what I would do is talk about the other things that make it worth the $250 a month. For example, every quarter, you can get on my calendar for a strategy session. That is the feature. The benefit that I would talk about here is that in the past, people who have used these half-hour sessions on my calendar have mapped out their entire launch. They've had me sit there with them as we start to rewrite their sales page for better conversions. Or they've used it to give me a bunch of context on their business so they know that they're using Copy on Demand to the best of their abilities while they're in the membership. Those are the benefits that come along with the feature. The additional feature included in Copy on Demand is you get one-on-ones on my calendar. It is the cheapest, most effective way to ask me anything. So that would be an example of adding additional value. Typically, that's where you start to really build that up midway through the launch. Day 4 in the morning, I love a good social proof email. And I'm going to say that this is a social proof email. However, I think it's even more impactful when you have some social proof smattered throughout all of your emails. So what does a social proof email look like? That is where you tell client success stories that align with your ideal audience's goals, and you include screenshots of testimonials, videos of testimonials, whatever you can, if possible. Now, again, ideally, you would have some social proof throughout. So in the email that I mentioned for day 3, where you start to talk about the other features of your offer and how I said, this is what other people have had happen as a result, that's a good way of adding social proof throughout. But I also love a good dedicated social proof email partway through so that people really get this feeling of everybody's doing it and they want to jump on the bandwagon and also buy from you. Second email on day 4, this is where we really start to twist the knife and talk about urgency. Typically, the theme of this email is if not now, then when. You could have joined this a year ago and you didn't, and you are still in the same place in the same cycle. Instead, join now. This is where you handle their potential objections and make the value of the offer worth the investment. It is a very emotional email to send. Then on the last day, really the focus here is urgency. You're going to remind them what they get and why they should want it, and do that first thing in the morning. Say, hey, today is the day that you need to make a decision. I want to make this super easy for you. So as a reminder, here is what is included and how it will change your life or your business or your relationship or whatever it is that you're selling. So you're giving them kind of one big overview. Then midday, this is where you answer any last lingering questions. In the evening, you send them the close cart email. These are the final details that you need to know to make an educated buying decision. And also on this last day, I love adding a video or an opportunity, even on day 4, to get on your calendar so that you can have a conversation. Typically, I would only do this for an offer that is worth over $2,000, just so that you don't end up getting a ton of calls on your calendar on a Friday as a surprise. Or invite them to an open house where they can come demo the offer and ask any final questions. I would just make sure that the context around that offer to get on a call is very clear, that you're not just here to pick my brain. You are here to see how the offer works and make a buying decision. So you can start adding those bits of urgency in day 4, day 5. So day 4 in the morning, give them a big call for urgency. In the late morning, give FAQs. In the afternoon, remind them that the cart is closing. Take into account time zones here. You may want to have it a little bit earlier if you're in Pacific time, because you don't want your East Coast people to already be asleep and checked out by the time you send this email. So think of it as like end of work day. And then a very short email as a last call. This is your final chance to buy. Typically, this goes out 4-ish hours before the cart closes. Again, just thinking about it in terms of where are they? What are their goals? And where are you? Think about time zones. So that was the bulk of your launch emails, right? Those are your sales emails. Those are the ones that people come to me to write. But what are the other 6 categories? This is where it gets fun. Because again, if I were to just start selling to my list right now and be like, great, guys, great news. Oh, cart is open. Get excited. Buy copy on demand right now. People aren't primed. They're not ready to spend $2,000. So what do we need to do to get them ready? That is category number 2. That is your pre-launch emails. These are the emails that you're sending for anywhere from 1 to 4 weeks before you open your cart. These emails are meant to get people excited about the topic of your offer and are made to build your authority. So this is where you want to be sharing things like case studies and kind of thought pieces on how you feel about your offer. This is also where most people have a launch event, and I told you I would come back to this. So what is a launch event? A launch event is a webinar, masterclass, challenge, some sort of thing that happens live that gets people so ready to buy. It typically solves the very first problem that your offer solves, so that it's a natural liaison for you to say during that event, if you want to keep working on this, join here. Challenges are really making a comeback. Webinars have always been around, masterclasses, things like that feel super educational and valuable to your people, that show them that you know what the heck you're talking about, so that they're like, yeah, you can continue to solve all of my problems. During the launch event, that is typically where you open your cart and your launch will be officially open for business. What emails do I recommend here? I would say 3 to 5 invites to your launch event in the 1 to 2 weeks leading up to the event. I typically would send at least 3 invites to your full list. Now, I will also say, I have clients who get really excited about something, they know it's a month out, and they start sending emails to their list way far out. I will tell you this, I had between my 2 webinars, I held one in December and one of January this last year, over 40% of my live attendees joined within 24 hours of the event, or they registered within 24 hours of the event. So that is something to think about, is just because your webinar isn't full and you're getting like low reception 2 weeks out, 4 weeks out, don't get bummed out. Keep pushing this to your list and keep asking your affiliates, which I will come back to push it to their lists as well. See if your friends, see if your live attendees, the people who have already registered, want to share this thing with their friends. So that is category 1 here in your pre-launch, is the invites to your launch event. You want to get people to the thing that gets them excited to buy from you. Then you're also going to need show-up reminders for your launch event. there are a lot of show up reminders. These go to the people who have registered for the event but have not yet attended it. So you're going to want email 1 as a confirmation email that says, hey, you're in, and remind them why they should show up live. The biggest missed opportunity I see in these show up emails is just saying, hey, remember you signed up for this thing. I'm going to tell you this. I am 34 years old. I am a millennial. There is a classic trope for millennials that we love canceled plans. And I'll tell you, most of my clients also fall into the millennial-ish category. So people love canceled plans. And if you don't remind them why they should show up, they're not coming. So in that very first confirmation email, you're in and you are going to blank. What is the outcome that they are going to get from showing up to your thing? And don't forget this either. Give them the option to add it to their calendar. Too many of us in the world are corporate escapees or still in corporate, which means we live by our calendars. Give them the option to block it on their calendar. Also, people are putting up big boundaries around their emails. They're not sitting around in their email hoping that somebody reminds them they're supposed to show up to something today. They want the opportunity to, in one click, add it to their calendar. They don't want to copy paste all the stuff over to their calendar, especially not with operating in multiple time zones. Give them a button to add it to their calendar. My favorite tool is Add to Cal. I know there's a bunch that are out there that are free that you can use. Then 5 days before, and not everybody's going to get this email, but this is for the folks who joined way before and you want to remind them to show up. Remind them that they signed up and that they should show up live. Potentially offer them a show up bonus, which would be something that you just give them at the end of the time so that it makes it worth showing up at all. And remind them to add it to their calendar. All of these emails, all of your show up sequence should have a button that says add it to your calendar here. 2 days before, very similar email, but more people are going to get this because remember, people register for things last minute. Remind them what they're going to get out of the event, not what they're going to receive, but the transformation. What are they going to know? What are they going to go into the world having that they don't now? What is the problem that you're solving? Give them the option to add it to their calendar. Day before, again, very similar. 1 to 2 hours before. This is the part where they're busy and they're looking for something to give today. And this is where they are most likely to say, I'm just going to watch the replay. So this is the part where they decide that showing up live is worth it. So remind them why showing up live is worth it. Sweeten the deal potentially by reminding them that there's a show up bonus and include the link to join right away because this is going to be at the top of their inbox. So rather than adding it to their calendar, you can say add to your calendar here or here's the link to join when the time is right. Then final email here, send an email that says we're starting now and it includes the link to join just straight over to your Zoom link, not necessarily to add it to their calendar, and remind them why they should be there. So that was group 2, is your pre-launch emails. You're going to send a bunch to your list, getting them excited about the topic. Category 2 within this was the emails to invite them to your launch event. And then 3rd is the reminders to show up once they have signed up. So there's a lot of pre-launch emails here as well, getting them excited about your open cart. Category number 3 is your affiliate emails. And before I jump in, remember I have this checklist. Guys, it's so easy to use. Go to the link in the show notes. It's called the launch emails that you're not sending. It is a checklist of every single one of these emails. And if you're not going to send all of these emails, it's just in Google Docs. So you can go through, delete the ones that you're not going to use, and then use this checklist and this document to just start writing the emails that you are going to write. So it's there and it's organized the way that I organized my launches. So you're basically just swiping my entire launch checklist. Go grab it. It's $19. Use code PODCAST to make it $1. Use code PODCAST. Okay. Category number 3 is affiliate emails. What are these emails? There's 2 sets here. 1 are emails that you will send to your affiliates, and 2 are emails that your affiliates will send to your audience. You need these if you plan to use your network to help you build your reach, your authority, and your social proof during your launch. So you're going to want to send these. I also have a template for these as well. If you want it, reach out. So the first emails are the ones you're going to send to your affiliates. First email here is inviting people to become affiliates if you have not already done that. You're going to want to include information in this email about how much they'll get in affiliate commissions and a link to sign up to become an affiliate. I have had people invite me to become an affiliate and not have a link in that email. And it's like, don't make me beg. Do not make me send an email back saying, sure, send the link to sign me up as an affiliate. It's clunky. Just say, hey, I would love for you to share this and get paid about it. Here's the link to do that. When you sign up, you'll get all of the rest of the information. I can't wait. You're the best, right? That's what that email says. The second email, then once they've signed up, is to welcome them to your affiliate program. This email should have links to where they can get their affiliate links. I personally use Thrivecart and really like it. But this initial email is going to say, go to Thrivecart and grab your link here, or sign up to be an affiliate on Thrivecart, however your system works. Third email is you're going to have several emails for this third category, but you're informing them about your upcoming launch. You're pre-launching both to your audience and to your affiliates so that they know what's coming. They can talk about it in a more educated way. When they talk to their clients or their friends about their issues, they're going to say, hey, I was just talking to Sam and she has this event. Here's the link, right? So you're going to include in every single one of these emails links to where they can get their affiliate links, any information about the upcoming launch. Make sure you include who, what, where, when, why. A good friend of mine does ads, and she asked me to share something of hers recently. And nowhere in her collateral nor on the sign-up page did it say what the dates were for her launch event. So always ask yourself, even if you're a pro and an expert, you've written a million bazillion opt-in pages in the past, are we sharing with everyone the very basics of what's happening here? Who should go, where it's happening, when it's happening, why they should come. And then you're also sending emails to your affiliates during the launch. So you're kind of running two launches at the same time. If you have affiliates, include links to get their affiliate links in every single email, how much they'll make in commission, links to their swipe files, which is category number 2 in the affiliates. Those are the emails you send to your affiliates. Now I'm transitioning to your swipe files, which is the emails that your affiliates will send to their audience. There's going to be at least 2 emails here. The first one sharing your free event, which is your launch event. You also want to, when you send this to your affiliates, encourage them to edit these emails so that it's in their voice, and also so that people don't get a bunch of the same email from a different group of people. And also including key dates and other information so that your people can basically just copy paste this over to their list and not have to go digging for the information. You basically want to make it as easy as possible for them to share your stuff. And then a second email sharing your paid offer once your open cart is live. Again, remind your affiliates when they can send this because you don't want them accidentally sending this before or after your open cart. So that was category number 3, is your affiliate emails. Category number 4 is your waitlist emails. These are emails to people who have opted into your waitlist, and this is probably the most underutilized part of the launch. But if you have a waitlist, which basically means that you have been letting people sign up to get to know when your offer is live. They are excited about it enough to want to know. If they were once excited, you want to keep them excited. So the first emails that you want to send here are probably every week or 2, you want to send a nurture email. And these nurture emails are simply letting them know what to expect. You may want to give them discounts on your other stuff because they were excited enough to want to buy your offer that maybe they want to buy your other offers. You could invite them to waitlist-only events. You could invite them to network with you. You could invite them to a call just to connect with your hottest buyers. Or you can simply send behind-the-scenes sneak peeks at what you're building and how the offer is coming along. Or as you get closer to launch, straight up tell them what the waitlist bonus is going to be so that they're super excited to buy on day 1. You're also going to want to send your waitlist separate pre-launch emails. These are going to be 2 to 3 emails in the week before your open cart, letting people know that this is the moment they've been waiting for. They've been on the waitlist this long, and tell them straight up, what is the waitlist opportunity? Do they get early access? Which means that they get early access to your fast action bonus that is limited to the first 5 people. So it might be a waitlist only bonus if they buy early. Do they get a discount? Do they get a secret additional bonus that the rest of people aren't getting? You want to send at least 2 to 3 emails to your waitlist in your pre-launch as well. Then, when you open the cart, you might be opening the cart at a different time for your waitlist than you are for the rest of your list. So you may want to be duplicating your open cart email from your core launch emails just for your waitlist. And then make sure you edit it to reflect what the waitlist bonuses are or how the waitlist is being treated differently so that they know that this is a special opportunity. So those are your waitlist emails. Depending on how long your waitlist is open for, you're looking at anywhere from 5 to 20 emails here, but don't let that freak you out. Those nurture emails are something you can just send throughout the year. Category 5 is your abandoned cart emails. There's really only 1 or 2 of these that you're going to want to send during a launch, but these emails go to the people who visit your sales page or checkout page multiple times or click through your emails multiple times. It just depends on how you're tracking. Or if they put in their contact information as a step 1 of a checkout process, typically they'll put name, email, etc., and then get sent to the checkout page. So if they put in their contact information and don't finish the checkout process, you can trigger an abandoned cart email. And this doesn't necessarily need to be like when you're putting in your information on like oldnavy.com and it sends you a coupon code. It doesn't need to be that. Sometimes people just need to be reminded that, oh yeah, I was planning on this and I got distracted. So I have some templates for these as well that you can get inside of the checklist, which again, remember, is only $1 when you use code podcast, or I will put the abandoned cart emails below as well. But basically, this is a single email that you'll want to send when people have identified through your tracking that they are hot leads. It'll remind them what they left in their cart, why they should buy your thing, and then you can also give them like a discount or a bonus or just like another reason to buy right now. So that's your abandoned cart email. Category 6, remember there's 7 of them, are your post-sale emails. These are emails that go out to people after they buy your thing. And what happens is people get so excited about making a sale, they forget to create like a super on-brand white glove experience for new clients. So these emails lay out the red carpet and educate your clients on how they can use your offer and maybe even upsell your offers to them. So at minimum, most people are sending that, hey, you're in email. It welcomes them. It gives them the link to join or start the course or add it to their calendar, whatever. That's the minimum email. You also want to add an onboarding sequence. I love a how to use this email that goes out a day later and says, hey, you made this decision. I'm so stoked for you. Here's how you can use it. I love including a video here. It makes it feel like a more warm welcome, and it gives them a clear list of steps of things that they can do right now and remind them why. It's to get that first win. Remember to use this email, and that goes out a few days later, and you can send as many of these as you want. I typically like a 2-week onboarding where people have the opportunity, again, to add things to their calendar, get their bonuses, schedule things with you. Whatever that like white glove onboarding is that you're providing, do that. Because what doesn't feel good to buyers is to feel like once you made the sale, you started to forget about them. So we don't want to do that here. We just want to welcome them and also make sure that when they start this sequence, they get out of your sales sequence so that they're not still being sold to and getting tons of emails from you over in the launch sequence, but getting ignored in the onboarding sequence. So we want to make sure that those two things are working in tandem. Finally, category number 7 is the post-launch emails. So those were the post-sale emails to people who bought. What about all the other people who didn't buy? Because typically you're only selling to about 2 to 4% of your list on average. So what about the other 96% of people? I get it. Launching is exhausting. The worst thing you can do is leave your list hanging after blasting them with a bunch of launch emails. We don't want to do that. So your post-launch emails are an opportunity to educate all your new leads about everything else that you offer and remind your former audience why they should stay on your list. Just because they didn't buy from you doesn't mean that they're not valuable or that they're not looking for you to solve their problems. Maybe they just need it in a different way than what you just sold to them. So I have a bunch of ideas. This isn't necessarily a sequence, but as long as you are not neglecting them, you could ignore these and just go back to your regular old nurture emails. But I'll tell you what happened to me and then I'll go to these examples. I launched Copy on Demand again back in December, January. And I recently had a couple people reach out to me and ask for a recommendation for a copywriter. And I was shocked because I am a copywriter. But what happened was I grew my list by about 1,000 people during my launch. And I realized that those 1,000 people thought of me only as a copy coach, that I only do copy on demand. And that is my fault because I didn't send these emails. I didn't tell them everything else that I did. I just kind of went into like, and now I have these great clients. Look at them. And went back into nurture emails and started talking about my experience in copy on demand because I was so used to talking about copy on demand and copy coaching and how to help you write copy that sounds like you but converts better. So that's a mistake that I made. Don't make it. So here are some ideas of what you could send / what I probably should have sent. Is 1, upsell emails. Your new clients could also be involved in these emails, maybe offering the opportunity to really drive it home, upgrade to VIP, get a one-on-one with you. What are other ways that they can work with you? This could be an email sequence. It could just be a couple of one-off emails to your whole list. Also, there's downsell emails. If people don't buy from you, you could offer them something lower cost or lower commitment. This could also be a downsell sequence that you just plug in every time somebody makes a purchase from your high-ticket offer. There's also the opportunity to self-segment. What I see a lot of people doing, and I never do this, But I shouldn't say never. I rarely do this, but there's a self-segmentation. And what people tend to do is say, why didn't you buy? And that's fair. Because a lot of times what you do with that why didn't you buy survey is whatever they click on, you send them an offer that's better fit to their objection. So if it's like, I didn't have enough money, then it's like, well, here, get just the course without the one-on-one support for half the price, right? So you can position your different offers by sending a survey of why didn't they buy. But what I like to do is just say, where are you at in the process? Tell me more about you. This keeps people engaged, makes them feel heard after getting a ton of emails from me, and gives me some data to understand who is this new audience and what are they doing, so that I can then write better content for them in the future. There's also a ton of educational emails that you could send. I love a series about what else I sell. I recently did this and just told my entire list about all of my templates that I sell. You could reintroduce yourself because, again, a lot of these people are going to be new to your list. So give your audience a ton of personality. Don't be afraid to add videos or photos. Maybe even give them the opportunity to click out to the favorite thing you sell or to connect with you on social media. That's the other thing too, is keep them in your world. Give them something to click in every single email, but encourage them to listen to your podcast or connect with you on social media. And finally, you could run a flash sale, give them a discount to every offer in your store as a thank you for sticking around during your launch. So the cart would be closed for your main offer, but you could offer them a discount to something else just to see where people are at, especially while they're still super engaged. So if you feel super overwhelmed, that was 7 categories of emails. We started with your core launch emails that you need to send during every launch, your pre-launch emails, your affiliate emails, your waitlist emails, your abandoned cart emails, post-sale emails, and post-launch emails. That's a lot. It's like 40 plus emails that probably are all going out within about 6 weeks of each other. And that's not necessarily what I want you to do. I don't need you to set aside a week to write all of these emails. Some of them, like your pre-launch and post-launch, can be written in the moment while you're writing the rest of your sales emails. But you can hire me to help you write all of it. If I were to write all of those for you, it would probably be between an $8,000 and $12,000 price point, depending on your business and which of those emails you choose to write. You could hire me to write your core launch emails. That project is typically about $3,000 to $4,000. Or you could hire me to write for you just in a VIP day, and I could outline everything and just fast forward your writing process and be like, these are the emails you need to write. So a VIP day is $2,500. For any of those options, you can get on my calendar at nomadcopyagency.com/contact. If you have additional questions for me, reach out. I'm the only one in my inbox or my DMs. So you can reach me on Instagram at nomad.copy. My email is samantha@nomadcopyagency.com. My website is nomadcopyagency.com. And I encourage you to grab this checklist. It's really well organized, and it's exactly what I use when I write for my launches. Again, you can grab that at the link in bio. It's the launch emails you are not sending. And to bring it down to just $1, use code podcast. I hope you have a great week. I am cheering you on in your launch. If you're launching soon and have questions, reach out. Otherwise, I will see you on next week's episode.